Well, hello, boys and girls. I'm Zookeeper Claire, and this is Zookeeper Ashley, and we're from Pathway, and we're going to tell you about some of the animals in the Bible, and a bit about what Christians believe.
That's right. I bet you're excited to find out what our first animal is. I wonder if you can guess what it's going to be. Well, it's right here in this box, and I hope you're brave because it's a little bit scary.
It's not scary, it's just pretend.
Oh. Let me introduce you to Sammy Snake. Here he is. Now, Sammy Snake is going to help us to remember one of the stories that happens right at the beginning of the Bible. It happened just after God had finished creating the world and people and animals too. I wonder if you know what the name of the first people God made were. The Bible tells us they were called Adam and Eve. God had made a perfect world and given Adam and Eve a perfect place to live in, with all the food they could want. It was like a paradise. A bit like when I'm on holiday. Yes, that makes me think of when I've got my sun hat on and I've got my sunglasses on. Yep, that's right. And I've got my beach towel. Woo!
Well, do you know what? It was even better than going on holiday.
Really?
Because when you're on holiday, things can go wrong. You know, you can have family arguments.
That's true.
Or get lost.
Yeah.
You know, but God made the world perfect. And everything in this paradise garden was perfect. And you know, God said to Adam and Eve, you can eat from any tree in this beautiful paradise garden.
Yep.
But God said one thing to them. God said, you must not eat from the tree in the middle of the garden, but you can eat from any other tree, but not that one tree in the middle of the garden, which this tree meant the knowledge of good and evil.
Oh. Well, imagine that. All those trees to eat from. It must have been like when you're on holiday and it's a all-you-can-eat buffet and everything's already been paid for and you can eat whatever you like. Oh, that does sound good. Except I've never heard of that fruit before. The fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. Wonder what that tastes like.
Well, God said if they ate from that tree, then they would die. And that was next to the tree of life.
So they had a choice between the fruit that gives you life and the fruit that will make you die. Sounds like an obvious choice to me of what to have for lunch.
Then one day, the snake came along and spoke to Eve. And the snake said,
did God really say you must not eat from that tree?
Well, God did say we can eat from any tree in the garden, except we must not eat from the tree in the middle of the garden, and we must not touch it, or we will die.
That's not true. You will not die. God knows that when you eat from the tree, you will become like God, knowing good and evil. And he's trying to stop you being as wise as him.
well, in that moment, Eve had a choice. Who is telling the truth? Who should she listen to? God had always been good to them. So far, he had made Adam and Eve be just like him. But maybe he doesn't really love them. Maybe he was holding back something from them. Maybe God is a liar. And the snake is telling the truth. The fruit, you see, looked really juicy. And the idea of becoming like God sounded pretty awesome. So Eve took a bite of the fruit on the tree of evil. And she passed it to Adam, and he had a bite too. And suddenly, they just all felt it was so different, but it wasn't a nice different. You see, paradise was lost. The holiday was over. They felt ashamed And they even felt so bad that they wanted to hide and run away from God. Quickly, hide, run away.
Well, God then came into the garden, as he liked to do, because he liked to spend time with the people he'd created. And normally, Adam and Eve liked to be with God too. But this time, they hid.
Where are you?
We heard you coming, and we hid because we were afraid.
Did you both eat from the tree that I told you not to eat from?
Well, Adam pointed at Eve and said, "It was her!" And Eve pointed to the snake and said, "It was him!"
Why did you do this? Because you listened to the snake, pain and struggle have now entered the world. Your perfect life has been spoiled by what you have chosen. Now you must leave this garden forever, and one day that you will die. You see, because Adam and Eve had made the wrong choice and listened to the snake instead of listening to God, they now blamed each other, and their relationship was broken because they disobeyed God. Now they were hiding from the one who created them, and their relationship with God was broken too. And you know, the sad thing is, Adam and Eve were trying to become like God by eating the fruit. But God had already made Adam and Eve just like him. He made them in his image, like a mini reflection of him. Before Adam and Eve left the garden, God showed that he still loved them very much. He gave them clothes to wear and told them that one day someone will come who will put things right and undo what the terrible snake has done.
Well, isn't that amazing that God still loves the people he made, even though they disobeyed him? You know, you and I, we have choices to face every day, don't we? And sometimes one person, one voice tells us to do one thing, a bit like God had told Adam and Eve to do one thing. And another voice tells us to do something else, a bit like the snake. Well, it's a bit like we feel pulled in two different directions, like a tug of war. Let's give you an example. Imagine your grown-ups have asked you to tidy your room, but you're busy watching TV. What will you do?
Well, you see, the Bible says we must listen to our grown-ups.
Whoa! But you were busy and you would rather watch TV. Who will you listen to? Which voice will win? You get pulled this way and that way. Let me give you another example. Imagine your friends at school start spreading lies about someone. What should you do?
Well, the Bible says we must love one another.
Yeah, but you want to be with your friends and do what they're doing. You get pulled this way and that way. What choice will you make? Who will you listen to?
Christians believe that just like Adam and Eve, we all forget to listen to what God has said and choose to listen to what we think is best. Our choices sometimes hurt ourselves, hurt others, and hurt God. But the good news is, in this story, is that God still loves the people he made. And Christians believe he made each one of us. And even when we choose not to listen to him, he still wants to be friends with us. You see, God sent Jesus to undo what Adam and Eve had done. And one day he will make the world perfect again and welcome us to be with him in a new, perfect, forever world. So all of us face many choices every day. The choice of who we will listen to. Many people want to help us make good choices, and some people don't. Will we listen to our teachers, our parents, our friends? Who will we choose to listen to? As we take a moment to reflect, I'll ask you all just to think about the question, who do you listen to?
Well, thanks for watching our assembly today, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon. But bye for now.
now.